gladly. Tell her the truth. I don't care if she approves. She will need to prepare the clan for my success. If Malakath disapproves, he can strike me down in the Bloody Knoll. But Shatul must survive. Go. There's little time.
My son, Chief Ogzor is dead. Lorig waits at the Bloody Knoll. Is Olgesh on his way? What? Ushruka was exiled from Shatul. I would never allow her to contend for Chief. That foolish girl. We're a traditional clan. Shatul will never accept an exiled woman as Chief. Had she become Lorig's huntwife as my son wanted, Shatul would have stayed for the wedding. We would have been there when the Reach attacked Lorig's clan. Her selfishness led to their destruction. A chief who lost his entire clan to raiders from the Reach? He refused to challenge my son, to give him an honorable death under Malakath's gaze, because of friendship. No matter his prowess in battle, he is soft in the heart. Had she become Lorig's huntwife as my son wanted, Shatul would have stayed for the wedding. We would have been there. Take this ritual blade. It is flawed at its core, just like Lorig and Ushruka. Replace the blade of the weakest contender. Fair. I just watched my son die. None of this is fair. The flawed blade is a test. A weak contender who survives despite this setback deserves to become Chief of Shatul. When the blade fails, the weakest contender will most assuredly die. If she... Go, there is little time. Malakath favor the victor.
Ashruka? You have to go. If Olgesh sees you, he'll kill you.
Ulgesh is in Orsinium. He sold me his armor before I came to Shatul.
No. What have you done?
Shatul must survive. Don't hold back, Lorig.
Malakath favor the victor.
Goodbye, Uncle Lorig.
winter on the range. It's almost poetic.
You've returned. Who is the new chief of Shatul? I see. I convinced our clan that Ashruka's victory would test our faith in Malakath's favor. They'll accept her. For now. If she allows it, I shall advise her. She'll need all the help she can get. You alone emerged from the Bloody Knoll. Did you pray to Malakath for your victory?
I needed no prayers, only my strength.
Then go forth, my chief, and receive your clan. Shatul, I present your new chief.
Know this, my clan. A new era begins today. The era of the Orc. At King Kurog's side, we shall lead Tamriel to greatness!
Perhaps Ushruka is right about the changes in Orsinium. Time will tell whether she is an exception, or the first of many.
You're the one who helped Scamper find the snow truffle. Everyone calls him lazy, but they just don't know how to motivate him.
I should have been at my husband's side. He'd still be alive, and I'd still be his hunt wife.
This is not justice.
I know the cheers won't last. I'll need to guard against challengers from all sides, to be twice the chief my father was. But for now, this feels good. This feels right. Of course you do. I don't know if I can attend the moot myself. I should stay here until the clan gets used to the idea of me as chief. But you can tell the king that Shatul supports him absolutely.
So now we have a new chief. Everyone is ready to forget Chief Ogzor, to ignore his murder. Urkael the Cleaver robbed me of my husband's mind, but Glagosh is to blame. She secretly worships Boethia, the Daedric prince of murder. Her prayers brought about Chief Ogzor's death. I haven't found the proof. I am no longer hearthwife of Shatul. My husband's life was stolen from me by his hunt wife, my own clan sister. I want justice. Try the Giants' camp where Chief Ogzor fell, or Lugbag. Ask what he heard the night before the attack. And search Glagosh's tent. Confront her with anything you find. I want to know what she has to say for herself. Shatul travels with the Achater. We have no prisons, just the Code of Malakath. If you wrong another in the clan, you have two choices. Pay in gold, or pay in blood. I don't know, poison, ritual sacrifice, time when she slipped away from the clan. Anything that connects her to Boethia.
You're the one who helped Scamper find the snow truffle. Everyone calls him lazy, but they just don't know how to motivate him. It's nothing. Well, Stubbs went missing that night. When I caught her out in the snow, I heard someone singing. It sounded like Glagosh, but I didn't stay to listen. If the chief's hunt wife wants to sing alone at night, that's her business.
I should have been at my husband's side. He'd still be alive, and I'd still be his hunt wife. Oh? About what? We're a clan that travels the range. It gets boring at night. Sometimes we sing to keep up our spirits. No, that. I wasn't singing. I was chanting. I was out hunting when I nearly stumbled into a mammoth. They have poor night vision. If you chant the way the giants do, sometimes you can fool them into thinking you're not a threat. You rummaged through my tent? If you weren't bloodkin, I could gut you for that. Not that my things are your business, but it's a book of battle poetry. I read them occasionally. It's what they preach in Orsinium, isn't it? Always wise to keep in touch with the king's politics. Better to know the old myths than sound like a bumpkin. That's my hunting blade! Chief Ogzor must have grabbed it on his way to the giant camp. Careful how you handle it. The blade has a paralyzing poison on the edge. His sword jangles. Lots of little buckles on the scabbard. But mine is quieter than a thief. I bet he didn't want to wake me the morning he was injured. Damned fool, trying to prove himself. Didn't want his hunt wife along to fight the giant. Well, I don't. What is the point of your questions? Yeah, the poor girl is still young. She can't accept that our husband fell in fair combat. There is no conspiracy. Just a good man who fell before his time. Tell her that.
So, what did you find? What did she have to say for herself? I knew it. Her hands are red with my husband's blood. You see, a cultist chants to her Daedric prince, just like the stories. I bet she was cavorting in the moonlight. Perhaps she was chanting to Ensorcel Urkhael the Cleaver. We've all seen her do that before. Of course she would say that. Followers of Boethia live only to deceive. It was Boethia worship, no matter what she says. Chief Ogzor deserves justice. Something must be done about Glogosh. This is enough evidence for me to demand the blood price from Glogosh. You're right. I was just so angry. If she had been there beside him, he'd still be alive. We'd still be a family. I'll speak with Glogosh. We both lost someone important to us.
Leave me to mourn my husband.
I know the cheers won't.
dead. They're all dead. I told them not to go in, but did they listen to me? No. Now they're dead. Don't go in. You'll end up dead, just like them. Every 10 years, some idiot orcs try to crack this place. They show up with a flawed plan to find riches and power. They're never heard from again. Dorand had a plan. He said we'd find riches and power. Should have known he just needed some idiot orcs. Who knows what relics and knowledge are inside an untouched Dwemer ruin? That's what Dorand said. And now he's dead like all the rest. Well, he might be alive. We got separated when we ran for our lives. But he's probably dead. Watch out for those creatures inside. They're faster than they look. If you see Canisarian, tell him to come back before he gets himself killed. Vicious things. Orcs, but not orcs. Old, but not. I fought one wearing armor made by my grandmother. It was well preserved, just like the creature inside. I think it was an orc once, but it didn't fight like an orc. Those eyes. I'll be wrinkled before I forget. Completely empty. It was snarling and gnashing and trying to end my life. But its eyes were completely blank. You ever had a puppet try to kill you? I suppose it was like that. Only these puppets were made of orcs. They're wearing orc armor, wielding orc weapons, and their tusks have a jaunty tilt to them. I don't know. Why would I think they're orcs? Canisarian can tell you more. Can't believe I'm glad Dorand brought him along. That creepy elf friend of Dorand. Well, not a friend exactly. Colleague? He drew the short straw to remain at camp when the rest of us went inside. I suppose we all can't be so lucky. You know, creepy. Never blinks when he's talking to you, creepy. Not sniffs your breeches when you're asleep, creepy, as far as I know. Dorand respected him, which was good enough for us. Dorand used to call him singularly focused. A nice way to say obsessive. Soon as I got back here and told him what happened, his first questions were about the creatures. Now he's out studying one I managed to kill. Creepy. Arrogance. Thought he'd figured out why the other attempts failed. See, he noticed the glacier shifting. This place was melting from the heat running through the old dwarf pipes. Dorand figured this was a cycle. Every decade or so, the place warms up for some reason lost to time. The trick was to get in and out before the Dwemer Guardians woke up. But he wasn't wrong. We made it deep into the ruins, just like he said. Then those creatures poured out of the walls and cut us down like hogs. Before we went inside, Canisarian kept going on about missing variables. I wish Dorand had listened.
controls them all. Stop it! Shut off the valve! Before...
What was the Sylvanar's advisor? The one who died? Terrible shame.
You there! If you're exploring the ruin, perhaps you could assist me. I find these unfortunate creatures quite fascinating, and would pay for evidence as to what brought them to their current state. Someone, or something, changed these orcs. Did you notice the precise scarring and fracturing? They were brutally and methodically tortured, pulled apart, and remade to become what they are now. No. The correct question is, how? This bizarre experimentation was done with great purpose. I would know the true meaning and goal behind such techniques. Should you encounter any evidence, do return it to me, yes? Yes. Good. Look for anything surgical in nature, or conducive to the manipulation of souls. Skull lathes, counter-rotating bones, scalpels, odd gems, that sort of thing. Of course, any notes you find would be invaluable. The tales of this place speak of many failed attempts by orc explorers to crack its secrets. Instead of claiming riches, the ruins claim them. But who, or what, has mangled them so? With the limited evidence before me, I would suggest a mythical Dwemer device called a tonal excruciator, thought by some, by me I should say, to lead directly to the Clockwork City. Ah, yes, Glabasha. She's terribly bright. And I don't just mean for an orc, if that's what you're thinking. It seems I always need to qualify it in this province. But yes, I'll return to camp shortly.
you disrupt my work? We must free ourselves of this prison of mortal flesh. You have undone my greatest accomplishment. Generations of effort reduced to parts. Come then, bottlefly. Trample your dung-stained feet about my workshop. We were to attain perfection. Every one of us. Tonal animus tuning is delicate work. But I had achieved its mastery. Then you brought it to ruin. You've seen the beasts? I changed them, saved them from themselves. I could have done so for us all. No, I am forever leashed to my mortal shell. Already, my perfect children grow deaf to my calls. End it, then. Close the pressure valve sustaining me. Free me from this withered cage. Then, the corpse to which you bound my soul will rot for decades. I will have no company but mindless, imperfect beasts. I will go mad, and years later, I will expire. Please end my suffering. You owe me that much. Please. Yes. Free at last.
You've returned. Did you find anything of interest? This is perfect. Far better than I'd hoped. You are quite perceptive to have picked these out from the junk. Yes, the book is the key. Once translated, everything falls into place. The key to knowledge, of course. For which we have you to thank. A grim tale. Someone attempted to bind orc souls to dwarven constructs. Even if possible, the process would destroy body and mind, to say nothing of the soul itself. It warrants further study, yes? Yes, good.
You aren't back with Dorand. Damn it! I wanted to be wrong! Tell me what did this to him. To all of us. If I have to write epitaphs, I want to get them right. I expected to find misery and death in this place. I didn't find it for myself, but still, it doesn't feel any better. I suppose I should thank you. If you have time, I have some questions about what happened in those ruins. That mad elf you mentioned. When you said he wasn't a threat, what exactly did you mean? Good. There are more than enough monsters in this world. About Dorand. You found him. How did he... What happened? Damn. You don't hold back, do you? Still, it sounds like he fought to the last. If he was an orc, I'd petition to bury him at Sorrow. He should be honored for his sacrifice. Orsinium, most likely. If all I recovered is a tale of woe and terror, I might as well use it to earn some drinks. Walk where the Etcheteers walk, my friend. Unless they have the flux. Then walk 2 paces to the right. Trust me on this.